Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Velo podcast. My name is Mike Levy, and today I'm talking to fellow Canadian Rob Britton, who happens to live just down the road from me and a short ferry ride away. Rob just won the Big Daddy 560 kilometer long Unbound XL men's race. Rob, thanks for coming on the podcast. Your average speed for this thing, 32 kilometers an hour for 17 hours and 49 minutes. You smashed the XL record. So my first question, with that in mind, is how are you feeling right now, and how is the body?
Yeah, I'm feeling actually for doing these things, the body's feeling quite good. The first few days, you've got your aches and pains. Obviously, sitting on a saddle for 18 hours straight is not like the most comfortable thing in the world. You give yourself jet lag without actually going anywhere. But, um, you know, Saturday was bumpy. After the race, Sunday, I was already starting to come out of it. I've been home for a few days now in Victoria, like I said, and already gone for a mountain bike ride. Sleep's okay. The knees are working, so yeah, it's not so bad. Of the long distance rides I've done, this is the one that's done the least amount of damage, seemingly so far.
Are you using chamois cream? And how? I know it's personal. I'm just curious though. How's the undercarriage now?
Oh hell yeah, no, I use shea butter. They make like this ultra balm, and it's just like it's great. I started using it last year, and honestly, it's actually like night and day difference from like using other stuff. It really does last for like 12 or 13 hours. And yes, I do reapply during something like that.
Yeah,
It's all about
100%
the
for sure.
re-app.
Yeah. So years ago, you did the BC Epic 1000. You attempted, or you completed, an FKT, the fastest known time on it. This is a 1,000 kilometer gravel bike race across BC. Afterwards, there's a video on YouTube. Everybody should go watch it. And afterwards, you said it kind of wrecked your season. It destroyed your endocrine system. We're a few years removed on from that now. How does your recovery look compared to back then? And why aren't you so wrecked?
Yeah, I mean, I did that without ever having done like riding through the night once, and I rode through the night three times there. Early part of it was really wet, and I was wearing new shorts. So,
Oh,
without getting into too many of the details, yeah, like
roll the dice on that.
yeah, again, kind of learning through mistakes. So yeah, I remember just like they got soaked in the first like 10 hours, and then there was just so much chafing, and then the bike's loaded down, so there's all this extra weight. You're riding in aero bars, but you're not used to. You just combine all that stuff, so it's like my butt was pretty chafed. My knees basically blew out. My Achilles blew out. So it's like I remember the last 2 hours I was hallucinating in the end. So yeah, it was all of that stuff. Like it ruined me. Like I eventually at home had to get like a cortisone injection to fix my knee. All these things, right? My sleep was destroyed. Really professional stuff. But I've learned from all those things, like little things, like I use a bit of like rock tape or KT tape on my knees now because when you're rolled forward in the aero bars, like with more weight in the bike, that's quite a bit of torque, and your hips will always get tight. Your hips will always pull your knees will always lose. So a little bit of rock tape on the knees, like you'll always see me with it on there. It just saves the effort of like my VMO trying to hold the kneecap in, and then it's crazy how well it works. Like that's solved like 95% of my issues in any ultra distance ride. I always carry something in the bag just in case. Like just like you can use it for other stuff if anything weird happens, but yeah, just in case. That's helped a ton. And yeah, just this is probably the first ultra I've used exclusively like sugar, but we can talk about nutrition later. But yeah, it's recovery wise, I think I learned from my mistakes. And I just think I'm just more comfortable mentally and like mentally wise. It's like it was just one night. Like I know that's a lot for some people, but for me, it's like going through a single night. It wasn't so bad. Um,
Perspective, right?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
Okay, so now though, we're 6 days out. Have you ridden yet since? And do you want to ride mentally? I think, when do you mentally recover and actually want to have fun on the bike again after something like that? And when you come home, are you just like eating all the things? Like, do you just go to 7-Eleven, spend $100 candy, taquitos?
oh, dude, $100, I have an open tab.
Yes, yes.
um, No, candy's the one thing I don't want. I eat so much sugar in this one especially. It's like I wanted all the salty things. So it's like burgers, pizzas, beer, steak, more beer,
Yeah.
like French fries, like potato chips. That's what I eat afterwards. It's like, and I eat with zero remorse whatsoever. It's like I just sort of seem like a kid, like freaking 17-year-old with munchies and mom and dad's credit card. Like
Yes.
that's like basically my diet for like a week straight, and I like am unabashful about it. Um, Mentally, I'm okay. It was like I think I'm still glitchy. There's like stuff where it's just like I'm actually amazed I can put words together right now, but um, yeah, there's still mornings I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, like I
Yeah.
didn't even do anything last night. But like it was, I came home Sunday night, Monday. I think the big ride Monday was just getting on my fixed gear and like riding across town to pick up something from FedEx, and that was like, I'm like, let's do this. And it was like about 8 minutes each way, and I got on the bike and I'm like, oh my God, it doesn't coast.
Shit.
So yeah. And then I went mountain biking on Tuesday and I didn't crash, which was like pretty great. So yeah, no, things are like coming around. Usually mountain biking here is pretty dangerous to do. I learned the hard way, like the day after like a jet
Yeah.
laggy flight. I think I've crashed every time I try to do that. So I've learned to give it a couple days, but, yeah, no, we're in a pretty good spot now. And I'm going, this weekend up to Whistler to bike with some friends, which that'll be good. That's sort of like a nice transition back in without any real stress.
Rob Britton heading up to Whistler with his downhill bike to ride the chairlifts, eh? Newsflash, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Changing it up again. That's
Yeah,
why I'll wear.
exactly.
The trick is wearing good walking shoes, actually.
That's fair. Yeah.
No.
Oh boy. Rob, let's go back 2015. A younger Rob Britton. He's racing for Rally Cycling. It's the Tour of Utah. You're doing all sorts of stuff. You've probably been to Europe. If you could tell that Rob that in some years' time, 10 years' time, you're going to be doing a 560-kilometer race on dirt roads on a bike with bags, what do you think younger Rob would have said?
You idiot. Like what? It's like
Stop.
ob- it's like obviously it didn't work out for us, did it? You're homeless?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
no, it's so funny, man. It's like that. Like this stuff I do now is the same stuff I made fun of like back then. It's like
It's
bike
funny.
packing, like that's stupid. Like doing like gravel riding, like seeing Ted doing. I think those are like early days of like Ted King kind of like doing and winning Unbound, which is just the dumbest race in the world. Like like, why is this getting any press at all? It's like he's going for, at the time would have been a 12-hour, 200-mile gravel ride in Kansas. Like what? Like this is just dumb. And then
Yeah.
it's like all of the stuff that I made fun of and the people I thought were ridiculous kind of like now are my peers and I do it and I love it. And like I'm even going further away from it. It's like, this is too fast now. We got to slow it down. I'm gonna do some like just some independent stuff and go for some long bike rides. And like, and like I can tell you like bike packing, like that was the one I really made fun of. And just my one time, like I had this idea, like it was like seriously a dream one night, and I woke up and I remember messaging my friends, like, what do you guys think about like riding from Calgary to like Vancouver Island over like 10 days? And like, yep, like 4 out of 6 were just like, sounds great. Just buy three. And like,
Those are the friends you need. Those are important
yeah, dude,
friends.
they're like yes men in the best possible way. So yeah, it's like, and we did it. And it's just like from then on, I was just hooked at like that feeling of leaving the house and knowing you're not coming home. You're only going to go away and you're going to only keep going away into a place that you've never ridden before. On a bike, you have like zero experience riding, like loaded up with gear. I remember like, oh my God, this thing handles terribly. It's like riding a three-legged pig. Like,
Speed wobbles. Ugh.
yeah, it was just like, I got the front bag was sagging the first day and I burnt a hole through my tent, like, and the bike and the bike bag itself. And I was like, oh my God, like how far I've come. No, I just don't bring a tent. Skip sleep. But yeah, it's all the stuff I made fun of back then is the stuff that like absolutely feels like my satisfaction back at now.
Yeah, isn't it funny? Like I think back, I mean, in 2015, I was like doing shuttle runs. I think I probably just owned a downhill bike and a full face helmet and like platform pedals and like and now I'm like, oh, these new bibs. Look at I think I like this chamois, like like it's just funny how the things change over time like that. Let's talk about Unbound XL finally. Let's talk about your race. I want to start, I guess, at the start. Before an event like this, can you have a like an overarching strategy for something this long, or like are you like if a race is an hour and a half or if it's 3 hours, you might think like I'm gonna attack here, I'm gonna do this, or I don't know what you might think. I'm talking about my ass, but 560K, do you have an actual race strategy for this, or do you feel it out?
Uh, I've done a few ultras, but this is only the second one that was like really mass start, like in like competitively mass start. Like Badlands was the other one. So it's like, and it's obviously different. Like it's not like the 200 where you're just like, okay, things are just gonna go like absolutely ballistic. Like no, this one it had the same start as the 200 the year before, so I knew there's a few critical points I had to be in the front at, and I made sure I was. I was a lot more relaxed for this race, I think. Well, way more relaxed than 200, but just generally speaking, there wasn't a lot of pressure. Or like removed it a bit. I was nervous, but on the good side of nervous, so like not the bad side of nervous. And so I tried to be at the front for those critical moments and just like not so much attack because when you're racing for 17 hours or 18 hours, like you don't really ever attack. You just like
Yeah,
run a bit hard. Or you just
you want to avoid that.
yeah, it's like it's like the original Iron Man stuff. It's like a really hard zone 3. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's I did like force the issue a few times like through these sections, and the XL, it's not the same stack field you have as a 200. It doesn't take much to like break it down just between bike handling and fitness. It's You're gonna split it down pretty fast through these sections. Like they're technical, like water crossing stuff, like a little bit of mud, bike handling, a little bit of climbing, a little bit of crosswind. It's like when there's professionals in the field, it's like you can just take advantage of those things and really like do a lot of damage very quickly. So in the first 100 kilometers, we had it down to like maybe 10 guys, maybe less. And we
Okay.
split that again down to 6 guys pretty early on. And then we were just gone. And I remember we were just like swapping off. And I kind of go to the back, say to Ted, like, you think we guys stop to pee? Like, man, we're gonna be raced for 18 hours. Like, I really don't want to have to like pee off the bike right now. It's like you get it on your shoe at the best of times. Like,
Yeah.
there's a time and a place, and you do that in like real racing, like the shorter stuff. But like, and you can't see anybody behind us. Like, it's gonna take 30 seconds. Can we just be respectable? He's like, I'm done. So like, and then he has more clout in a group like that than I do. So it's just like, gentlemen, would you like to pee? And everyone's like, yep. So I
Yeah.
just like took this like stop pee, like a quick like pee break on the side, and I was like, "This is sick. This is so much more fun than than the 200."
That's not
Like with a
happening in the 200, is it?
no, no, I don't think they
Yeah.
slow down for anything now. Like when I did my first 200 in 22, my first pit stop was like I think 47 seconds, and we were like, "Damn, that is Red Bull fast. Like we're crushing it." And
Yeah.
now they don't stop. They just roll straight through, like pack, drop bottles, keep going. Yeah, and I don't know how this has been like a major crash in the feed zones. But anyway, like there's just so much less pressure, and like that group of guys, like I know them all well, so much respect. Just like let's just cruise. Nothing weird. Splits just came from uh feed zones or like stopping for like to refill. Some guys, because that's things, right? You have your half a dozen spots. Where are you going to stop? How long are you going to stop for? You need to get food. You going to get water. You need a Coke. What do you need? So that's where I think um, strategy plays into it more than I'm going to attack here, I'm going to attack there. It's like you need to at least put yourself in a position to have that opportunity to attack. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Just a couple of minutes ago, you said that you weren't really nervous or weren't as nervous for this race. Did you do anything specifically to have that mindset change?
uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I did anything specifically more so than I just had like a really shitty spring. I put in a lot of work and it just like um, for this, that, and the other. I just didn't get any results, and it was stressful. To be clear, I'm probably like my own worst enemy when it comes to that stuff. I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform. It's always kind of worked for me.
Yeah.
I get, but this year I just felt more nervous than other years. Like I just like almost sick before some of these races, and it's like why? I don't like. I have had a good career, like lots of success. I know what to
Yeah.
expect in the bike race. There's no reason to be uncomfortable like this, but I'd just be like,
You've done
yeah,
hundreds of bike races, thousands maybe.
it's like, and at this point in my career, like, what is the point? Like losing sleep at night for like sea otter, like that's just like that is ridiculous. But so this race is like because I'd had so many bad races, I was just like, it's like basically from Traka to this race, I did 3 workouts total. Other than that, I rode my bike, like just went for bike rides. So my preparation was actually kind of traditional to what I've done the last couple of years, where I just like I can focus in and still do the hyper focused like nutrition, intervals, all these things. But I've been doing that all year, and that wasn't working. Like I, and a lot of that was luck, get a bad time flat tire, whatever, like cramps early in the season, whatever. But before this race, I was way more relaxed. Friends and family over for dinner. We go for beers in the afternoon some days, like just like chilling, like actually enjoying my life and just like riding hard when I was riding hard, but still no extra
Yeah.
pressure. And then before the race itself, like slept great the night before, the nights before, the day of, like Castelli had given us like a new skin suit, and I was like, ah, hell yeah, I'll try it on. It's like, I mean, it's like this has to be faster, right? So I made the decision not to use a pack and just use like how everything has like the built-in bladder holder. I'm like, ah, sure. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I was like cutting the hose on my hydration pack like 2 hours before the start. I'm like, oh, this is too long, and they're just like, we'll just cut it. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So like the amount of stuff I was doing for the first time before that race start was like, as Paul Voss says, like he's like, I want to have you come to my races. This makes me feel so organized because you are just absolute shit show. This is stand up comedy for free for me. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't think it's that bad, but yeah, man, it's like, yeah, I was relaxed, and like part of what I like the feeling of this is like that true unknown. Like I didn't recon the course like, okay, I'm climbing this. This is that climb. This is what I have to think about here. Okay, this is where it's like could be crosswind. You're like muddy. It's like, well, that will just happen or it won't. Why would I bother stressing out about that? Like we're gonna be racing our bikes for 2 days or like whatever through the night. Like I don't need to worry about that. Let's just go and give her. Like
Yeah.
there's you're either gonna do good and you're gonna beat these guys or you're not, and that'll be that. But like stressing about all that stuff, that's just like a waste of my energy. And then on the way to the race, I put a new chain on the night before, and one of the bushings was the wrong size, so my chain was jacked. And then I started to stress out pretty hard, like an hour before the start, going to Shimano and being like, I just line up and like just basically like, went in front of all of them. I'm like, I know Sam there. I'm like, hey Sam, I'm really sorry. You can see the panic on my face. I'm really sorry. Start in an hour. My chain's not working. Please help. And
Yeah.
so ran over to Silco, got a brand new chain. They put it on, went to the start, and it was all good. But yeah, it was up until about an hour before, I was pretty relaxed.
You need to be able to bottle that relaxedness and being able to use that like as some sort of like spray you could spray on you before other races, and you could sell it to me so I don't freak out before bike races. Like I need some of that calmness.
Dude,
With
totally.
I think that sort of calm energy, like I feel like I can get tired from being nervous. Do you know what I mean? Like
Big time.
it mentally tires you out for being scared.
Oh
So I
yeah,
need that.
especially if you get it like 2 or 3 days before, you're like, oh, man, I don't know. You're like, why? Why? Just chill. Like,
Yeah.
what? Have you controlled all the things you control? It's like, oh yeah. And then I was like, what are you worried about? But it's like, I say that, and yet I'm still just as guilty of it as anybody. Like days before, like, okay, like too much time on your feet, like just stressing about like just the nuances, which are the things like because every single time once I get in the bike race, it's like instantly switch back on and we're good. I'm no longer like I'm not nervous in a bike race. I'm not nervous in a group. I'm not nervous descending sometimes, but like it for the most part, it's like you're just aware and like that's the stuff I'm totally used to. It's just like for whatever reason, it's just years of like build up. Yeah, still happens.
It's almost like bike racers like we're meant to be like more reactive instead of sitting around thinking about what might happen and planning and like if this happens then I'll do this or if this doesn't happen, it's
Yeah,
just do the thing, just go do it. It's easier that way.
big time. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, Rob, you're out on the course. Are you like forming alliances with riders in the same way that you might like when you're out in a road race? Is it that kind of thing? Like there's no
Um,
teams, but
no, for
how does
sure.
it play out?
I do remember like you could see at the start like Lachlan was carrying like 40% more water than the rest of us. Like he had what I assume was probably a 2 liter bladder in his tail fin, plus two 1 liter bottles in there, and then two 1 liter bottles on his bike, 6 liters at least. I had four. Lawrence had, I think, four. I guess like rough figures, but about 4.5 ish. Ted was
Yeah.
running, I think, super lean. I think Ted was only doing 2 liters. Like he had two 1 liter bottles. I don't even think he had a bladder in his back. He might have, but I think he did. And then Corey and Robin were both running small bottles with bladders. So Robin had 500 ml bottles. So it's like, so you just, that's the thing you can bank on. It's like, well, fluid is like, you're going to have to fill up before me. And I'm pretty good at riding pretty low on water. And then Robin lost a bottle. So I'm like, well, he's for sure going to have to stop at 170K in.
Yeah.
And I remember Ted asking at one point, he's like, are you stopping at mile whatever, 105? I'm like, I don't think so. Like, initially I would have been, but I realized I was just going to have water anyways. So I talked to Lawrence and I was like, hey, we need to watch Lachlan. Like, he's got a lot of water. He's like, guess we stop at kilometer 240. I'm like, and I kind of looked at what I had and I'm like, give bladder a smack. Yeah, okay, I can go in about like 70K from what I was planning on stopping. I carried enough food and mix anyways that did make sense. There's like that was a logical thing to do. I think a little bit more concerned when it's like your water stop is like when it's listed in like your aid stations. It's like water spigot on side of shed. I'm like, am I just gonna ride through like a town and have to find a water spigot on the side of someone's shed? But
Yeah.
like, thankfully, there was like it was staffed and there's people there pointing because it's in the middle of the night, right? So thank God, it was like easy to find. But yeah, so that's where we lost. That's where the group was split. We went from six or five down to just the three of us. And for 75K, we were just like mobbing, like full gas, because you have to think it's maybe tick for tack. Like if we stop for 10 minutes and they stop for 10 minutes, then it's just going to be the difference of us like riding in between to
Yeah.
keep separation. Um, but yeah, so Morans and I'd say I don't know if we had like an alliance, but like we certainly like had an agreement. Like we're gonna have to stop. Let's stop together. Then we can just roll together. Lachlan's not going to stop, and he's riding really well, so he's gonna keep going. So two of us versus one of him.
Yeah.
Who knows? Bad
Interesting.
luck can happen to anybody. I wasn't so much worried about the guys behind. I knew Lawrence and I would roll faster than Ted and Robin. I felt confident enough, like just we were on like just a bit of a higher level. Um, so yeah, we stopped, filled up, and it was going good. We were rolling good. Went through Little Egypt, and Lawrence flatted. And I remember coming up. He's like, "Shit, I think I have a flat." Yeah, okay, I have a flat. I'm like, okay.
See you
Uh,
later.
I'm gonna I'm gonna keep riding, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna smash it, but like, he's like, yeah, yeah, go, it's all good. Like, because this is the thing. Like, we've raced each other for decades. Like, there's a lot of mutual respect between. I think especially between like the three of us, like Lockie, Lawrence, and I. Lockie especially. Like, I raced him. Like, I guess our whole career. I remember his one of his first races in the U.S., like Air Force Classic or something in like Colorado Springs. Seeing this, like, it's about the same size he is now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just this spindly little Aussie kid, and he just piped all of us. And yeah, fast forward 20 years, and we're just basically still doing the same thing. Like, but you guys biking around hard, and then yeah, so Lawrence spotted, then I was going, and there's no tactics anymore. You're just riding, just. And I remember when we stopped for water. This is a memory I have. Uh, kind of seeing Lachlan, like, all right, well, we'll see you later. He's like, yeah, mate, sounds good. And as he disappears into the darkness, the last thing I see is him like just popping his earbuds in. And it's like exactly what I was gonna do. It's like I was around myself. Hell yeah, it's like put the beats in and just like get in the zone. It's like jamming through the
Yep.
night is the best.
Yeah. What is the zone for you? Like, I don't obviously I don't need to know like power numbers, but like what sort of effort are you doing through the night, nice and steady like that?
Yeah, you just kind of like for me, especially once I was solo, it was just like think of like a hard zone two rut, not even that
Yeah.
hard. I think the first thing I did actually is like have a caffeine jump. I was like, okay, like it's like 10:30 now, like let's get this party started. Um, but yeah, just I'd say yeah, waters wise for me it's like 250, 280. And then you try not to like throttle the climbs too hard, like really not that you have the extra energy to do it, but for me I'm even more thoughtful of like okay, like don't over torque these, like don't put more stress in your system than you need to, just like keep a steady up, but then stay on the gas over the top and just like
Yeah.
you want to try to keep for me the power and the effort from doing this to doing like just like nice and flat instead of like these big spikes with like coasting the downhills because eventually you're going to get tired and you're going to be satisfied after your pace where it's like you do get to the downhills and you just coast. You're like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Here's some of the aero
Break
bars and you're
time.
happy to like, but
Yeah.
early on, yeah, you just keep that effort nice and steady, keep the fluid coming in steady. And it's like, it's kind of funny. It's for me at least, it's a lot of like mental math because the whole time you're okay, you stopped at 244. The next one's at like 370, but then there's one at 444. 370 is too soon. I have enough water. I think I have enough water. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to 444. How many gels is that? Okay. Start like adding it all up. How much like you're using, how many hours that's going to be, like the time it takes to go from point A to point B. Should you stop? All that stuff is just like constantly in your head. And you've been riding your bike for 12 hours. So it's like your math is really freaking bad. Like I'm bad at
I
math.
was just
Like
gonna
just
say, yes.
so I think the number of times I had to like recalculate was I don't know. I was out there for 8 hours, so I had about 8 hours to just like fact check those numbers, because you don't really want to get it wrong.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. I find a lot of times on these big rides that there comes a point where like that's what I end up doing. Like for like an hour, I'll try to do the math in my head, like, okay, it's this far away and this and that and this. And like it on a normal day, if I wasn't on the bike, like, not that I'm good at math, but I could probably figure it out. But dude, 8 hours in, I'm just like, it doesn't
Mm.
work, you know?
No,
Yeah.
big time. It's like yeah, it's yeah. There was a few times I'm like, okay, sweet, it's an hour. And you're like, yeah, an hour in 50K. Yeah, that's not how math works, buddy. That's like an hour and 40 minutes. It's like, oh, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah. Are you looking at your power meter much and using it as a almost like a regulator? So I did the buckshot a little while ago,
Yep.
and I used my power meter,
Hmm.
and in my mind I wanted to look at the numbers and be like, oh, I want to sit at this for this like kind of thing. For me personally, it ended up being counterproductive because I would look down at the numbers that I was putting out, and they were like a zone lower than what I would want. You
Oh
know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
So do you ever not look at it?
um, it's funny. I don't look at it when I'm actually racing. Like when I say actually racing, I mean like shorter events.
Yeah.
Because there it's like it's irrelevant, right? Like you're either gonna do the power and stay in the group, or you're gonna get dropped. Um,
Yeah.
but for this stuff, I do use it as just like a soft guide, like just being aware of not having those peaks hit too high, especially early on, because you always pay for that eventually down the road.
Yeah.
And then, but also being able to push a bit more when you think you're cruising. It's like, hey, you're only doing whatever 210. It's like you just like grab a gear and just like push down a bit harder
Yeah.
because
Especially over the
it's
top.
yeah over the
Yeah.
top. It's just to get right onto that gear and like get that speed up because like that's what you want. You want speed. It doesn't need to be wattage so much, but it's like just keeping that speed as high as average as possible. Um, but like on my like computer screen, I've got like the map like navigating, and then in the bottom it's just like a 3 second average. So it's always just sort of there, and I keep the map up just because too many times you're doing like some of these events. It's not like Kansas where it's like a series of left and right turns on like a farming grid. It's like some of them it's just you're riding and all of a sudden it's like it's you can go through this alley and this hole in the bush, and over here it's like you're like ride your bike through a castle, like so you get used to just having the map on like exclusively. Whereas
Yep.
yeah, Kansas you don't need it as much, but I do have the watts on there. Just after so many years of being a road racer, I kind of know, but it's still good to have a bit of a guide.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Take me to the lowest moment of this year's Unbound XL. What time was it? Why did you feel so low, and how did you get out of it?
And honestly, this one I didn't have any super low feelings. Like my biggest worry was yeah, my stomach blowing out because I've never eaten like gels for that many hours. I mean, I think it's probably bad for you to do that.
Yes.
Like for highway to diabetes. But yeah, it's the other one was like my knees. I was really worried. Um, because I talked about the KT tape earlier, but I didn't bring any extra with me. So I had one on my right knee, which eventually through like sweat, mud puddles, whatever, like just peeled itself off because I put it on after putting on sunscreen like an idiot. Um, and then my left knee was getting pretty sore because my bags were getting. I never, when I normally do ultra stuff, I never run 1 liter bottles. I usually do a 750 or even a 500 just because I can stop more or less rush. But this, I knew water would be really important. And with my frame size and my frame bags, that 1 liter bottle is like jamming up into like the frame bag. So the frame bag is instead of being like nice and like lean like that, it's kind of like flaring out. So now my knees are
Oh,
flaring, and my left knee was actually getting pretty sore in the first half, and I was like, oh my god, like because I've had it before where it's just like it blows, and then like I can't pedal at all. So I was really concerned about that. I'm like, no, just relax, like because I think what I was doing was correcting. Like as it was pedaling down, it was hitting the side of it, so I tried to like push it out so it didn't. But
yeah.
I think was like mentally just like just let it rub. Like your skin can grow back. Like if it's just a little bit of chafing, right, on that material on the inside of your knee. I'm like, it's fine. Like just man, it's 10 hours of this. Like whatever, it's a scab. It's nothing. So once I kind of got used to that and just relaxed a bit more, the pressure went away, the knee pain went away. And that was the biggest concern was it was that in the stomach. But I never had any like really dark moments of like sometimes you get super tired and you just want a nap and you have to fight that. I never felt that. Um, I really like it's. I was in like kind of a perfect position, right? It's like I was chasing like gravel Jesus ahead of me, like,
Gravel Jesus.
and I've got like Lauren's 10 down behind me, like chasing me. So it's like you're getting chased,
Yeah.
and it's like you're trying to catch like basically the most famous guy in like gravel cycling, and um, that's like you couldn't ask for a better like
Yeah.
situation mentally. So it was
Yeah.
great.
Is that what you prefer in an event like this? Would you prefer to chase somebody or be chased?
Uh, Probably being chased. Um, I don't like. I've done both. Like I've tried to chase Lawrence in Transfideliaris without lights in the dark in Colombia is probably maybe not the best idea.
Yeah.
Um, but uh,
A little
and
different
then
than your road racing days.
yeah, I just got some memories of that. But and then doing Badlands, getting chased by Robin, um, and just being like, oh, yeah, you're just like trying to smash. Like I finally looked at the tracker like with like 180K to go, and I was like, okay, I've got like 70K on this guy. And then I was like, but then it's like just the way it was playing out. It's like pings were not always super accurate, so I started to stress out. I still finished like an hour and change ahead of him at that race, but I was like at the end, like trying to ride it, like trying to okay, I'm gonna go really hard this climb, and then your heart rate goes to like 130 because you're so jacked. Like you're really hard is like 265 watts, and you feel like you're riding out of your skin.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
um, yeah, so it's. I mean, both are good. It's like you never want to be like on the back foot chasing. Like if you're in a hunt, that's one thing, but it's like chasing because it's like you got dropped is like that's kind of a bit of a different situation. And I never felt like I was chasing Lockie because I got dropped. I felt like I was chasing him because of like I think like an F1 style. It's just like that was just a tactical like pit.
Yep.
So we pitted early. Now we're gonna chase. He's gonna have to pit at some point. So as long as you can maintain that pace, and I think I was pulling him back because when I got to my final rest stop, they told me he was only a minute ahead. So
Oh, yeah. It's
yeah,
like it's pit stop offsets is what it
yep,
is.
totally, yep,
That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
yep.
tire offsets. So when you rolled up to Lachlan, or when you hear that you're just a minute behind, maybe you could see his light up there. Does that must give you like some sort of fuel for the fire, gas to the tank, eh?
No, for sure. It was. I mean, I had my own playlist going, so I started working through tracks to get you jazzed up. But man, it's like they told me that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna hamburger some time now because I have 12 bottles, so it's gonna go back up to like 3 minutes. 3 minutes over like 150K. I'm like, a lot close. It's like because we're so similar. Right? If he doesn't crack, and like I'd have to go quite a bit faster to close that gap, so it's not a sure thing at all that I'm gonna catch him. But the fact that I was only a minute behind him meant that I was going faster previously. So pace wise, I was up. Um, but yeah, finally, I saw this blink in the distance, and man, it took like hours to finally close it because it's like he's a slight guy, and it's like in the early dawn hours, you can just see this speck in the distance because the roads were twisty enough that you didn't have huge lines of sight.
Yeah.
Am I ever gonna catch him? And then finally, it was just like, and I was trying to think. I'm like, what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna say something stupid, but I don't know. Like, and I'm like, maybe I'll just like I'll let him sit up there and cook, and then I'll get him in the last bit when he's really done. And I was like, no, drafting will be tight right now. Yeah, if I was catch him. So like, I came up and I'm like, I was kind of eventually decided. I'm like, rode by. I'm like, yo, and yeah, I think he was just stoked to see me as I was catching him, and just like patted me on the back, and then we just like, and I think we just like had like a moment like it was like, dude, how good was that sunrise, right? Like, fucking, this is
Yeah.
sick. Like, just because I think we both, I don't know, like if you read his Instagram post, but I don't think our mindsets were so dissimilar for the race. Like, I think we both kind of needed that race and that battle for us, and just have something like pure
Yeah.
to just like, and like I said, there's quite a bit of respect between the two of us. So even at one point, I said to him like, I don't know how this will play out. I know it's a battle, but like this day has been just awesome. Like, thank you. It's been so
Yeah.
good just to do this. Like, in just such a pure bike racing hard ride. That's just, and yeah.
It's crazy what a sunrise can do, eh?
Yeah, the sunrise and sunset were like, and sun, man, it's so good. When you ride through the night, it's like you're sitting at this dawn forever, forever, forever. And then finally, like, you see the sun like pop. And it was like a special one. It was like this bright, pinky orange thing with like quite a bit of like haze in the sky. So you just saw a sliver like just come up and then disappear back into the clouds. So it was like it was a good one.
Reborn,
Yeah,
reborn again. It's a
totally.
great feeling. Yeah. It's funny, you said, "Oh, I've got to make up 3 minutes over 150 kilometers," and I just want to give you some perspective that normal people like I can lose 3 minutes in 10 kilometers, Rob. So
Well, I mean,
it sounds like a small gap.
no, I mean on a mountain bike. Oh my God, it's like Andrew could put 3 minutes into me in a 1 minute descent.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like, but gravel riding. When the thing is like when Lachlan and I were going, it's like generally speaking, we were kind of one to one. Like our pace was so similar. So it's like to do that, it's like you have to go faster or he has to go slower. So if he didn't slow down, that meant I had to speed up. And I was already going so much faster than I thought I'd be. I'm like, okay, like I don't think I could have gone. Like, that difference is like increasing your wattage by like 20 watts. That's like when you start to think of it like that, it's like go 20 watts harder for, 4 hours after riding for 13 hours. Like that's a big change.
When you put it like that, that's how I understand for sure.
Yeah.
That's a number that I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Just 20 watts. And like,
Just
yeah.
20 watts.
And it's like, okay, yeah. No, so no, thankfully he started to go slower. So I was able to like close that gap. But and
Yeah.
then yeah, we had 60K together. And it was just like totally amicable. Like both took long turns, just cruising, no weirdness, no like little like subtle jabs on climbs or anything like that, or like push them into a crosswind or surge out of a corner, whatever. Like it was just we were just going, and then it was just me.
So you're with Lachlan, you got 60K left. I would imagine that one of the main things you're thinking about is how you don't want this to come down to a sprint at the end of this fucking race.
Yeah. It's just like really 2 years in a row. The XL is settled in a sprint, and I'm like, I'm gonna get roasted. Like I can't screw my way out of a paper bag. Like, and everyone knows it. Like, oh my God. But again, it's like I don't know if he's cramping at all. It's like 17 hours is a bit of a different thing. But still, I wasn't backing myself in a sprint. So I'm like, how am I gonna beat Lachlan? He is so cagey. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, and then I think eventually, because I was like kind of nervous about this, and like you have hours to think about it as you're like kind of closing this gap. Eventually, I think I just told myself, like, man, just shut up. You got to catch him first, and then well, let's just try to like get to the finish line without cramping because I cramped at every other bloody race this year. So I'm like, let's just do those things. And then we can worry about like if we try to go on the hill or go late, it's like I feel like after this many hours, I'm going to get one shot. So let's figure
Yeah.
all that out after we put ourselves in a position to like get that one shot. But for now, let's just get there because there's 2, 3, 4 hours before we have to really worry about that. And if he goes before that, then you respond and figure that out then. But
Mhm.
like until then, let's just get as deep into the race as possible. And sure, yeah, like maybe that's putting a lot of pressure on a sprint that I don't have, but going before I think just could cause a whole other can of worms problem. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um, what are you listening to in your headphones?
It's funny. Kind of like what you were saying at the start of our little conversation here. Just yeah, a bunch of like mediocre to shitty old rap, like stuff
Yes.
from like man, like I grew up in like I was a child of like Dr. Dre and Eminem and that kind of
Yep.
stuff. So a lot of those are still like heavy playlists, heavy repeat. Thankfully, they keep coming out with like some new stuff, which is sounds like old stuff, which is nice. Yeah, so quite a bit of mostly rap, like stuff that I listen to during workouts. It's like you kind of have that like mental like mindset. It's like you switch on. This is the music I listen to when I do other hard things. So it's like there's an association there. Um, for longer rides, I'll go through like different stuff. Normally for a longer ride, I'd also use wired headphones, not Bluetooth ones, because the Bluetooth ones started to die. But
Yeah.
yeah, like sometimes I'll listen to like a good like country jam or like some like pretty heavy like EDM. Just, but this was 8 hours of listening to music, so I just had like roughly an 8 hour playlist, and then near the end
Yeah.
of it, I've got some tracks that get me pretty jazzed up. So I think I
So
replayed those about a dozen times.
that's what I was going to ask. It took me decades to learn that I'm often the kind of person who needs to be pumped down for things instead of being pumped up for some things. So a race like this, I imagine sometimes you're playing, like music that you would want to keep you level or
Mhm.
music like near the end, you're going to put on the Dr. Dre or whatever you're going to do. I imagine there's something going on like that, eh?
Yeah, sometimes this one I was pretty like just like it's like pretty flowy stuff early on in the ride, but like yeah, country is one that I can listen to a lot of and just be like cruising through the bush. Like even just like doing big rides, I'll like listen to a lot of country music. And then yeah, when it's like time for like the rubber to hit the road, then I'll switch over to like some angry rap or whatever like this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's through the night. You don't need to be like giving her like in like 2 a.m. Probably just better off just to be like relaxed and like biking. Like
You just listen to Sandstorm on max volume at 2 a.m.
exactly, just like in the zone. Yeah.
and popped.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I don't know what it was. It was either Sandstorm or the like 950 milligrams of caffeine, but whatever it was, I felt great.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll sleep
Let's
tomorrow.
let's talk about some caffeine, Rob. I
Yeah,
want to talk about some fueling questions.
sure.
Um, am I correct in saying that your fueling has changed a lot since your
Oh,
road racing days to now? And how have you physically handled that?
um, yeah, it's been the kids, man. I blame it on the kids.
Yeah,
They all just want to eat sugar. It's
they
like,
just want the candy. All
oh my
these
God,
professional racers are so fit and they're also this close to having diabetes.
it's insane, man. Yeah, like when I was racing, like road, 60 to 80 grams an hour was kind of like pretty good. So that's
Yeah.
like a pack of cliff walks an hour and like some mix. Um, Now guys are doing like more than double that. Like I think Cam, who won the 200, was like around 190 grams an hour, like which my stomach would just like explode. Like I would die. Um,
Dude, craziness.
but
Yeah.
I mean, even for me, I added it up after the fact, and I did just under 100 grams an hour for 17 hours, which it for me like before like that took quite a bit of training to get to that point. Like I usually don't function great over 100 grams an hour. I can do it for about a 4 hour race, but any more than that, I get pretty bad like gastric distress. Regardless of what I eat, it's always been an issue. Like
Yeah.
First Endurance like basically built this high carb drink from like feedback I'd given them because the old one would just destroy my stomach, flip it upside down. So this high carb has been great because I can drink quite a bit of it and it doesn't have a huge gastric impact, which and you're trying to take in so much fuel at such a high intensity. Um, that's totally game changing. So yeah, it's nuts, man. Like, and I feel bad, to be honest, like for like these kids. I mean, like, people trying to get in the sport, and you have people like they're looking up to, or like, they watch the World Tour, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they're doing 110 grams an hour. If I were to add up, if I bought all the stuff that I use for the XL, if I paid cash, which I don't, I have a sponsorship with First Endurance and the Feed, like, so I'm really fortunate there. That race would have probably cost me $300 in nutrition alone.
Mm, hmm.
Like, you think 26 gels at $5 a pop, another half bag of mix, like that's nuts. And there's training involved before that. So, you're doing training rides that are $75 a day on nutrition. Like
Yeah.
when I grew up as a kid, like I would, again, dating myself, but like a box of power gels would last me through a summer.
Yep.
Like you'd have one gel a lap on a 3-lap race, but you would only use them for races. You were drinking Powerade, and you'd buy a big bottle of Powerade and you pour that into like bottles. And yeah, it's how things have changed is insane.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
cost of that is so high. Like it, it's tough. Like, and I don't think it's good for you long term. Like you can't,
No.
like eating this much sugar. Like, I mean, I spent $6,000 last fall getting 2 root canals, 2 crowns, and
Shit.
another filling. It's just like I don't get cavities anymore. I just get root canals. It's like my teeth just like implode, and
Yeah.
like it's a lifetime of eating sugar in like a dry mouth, high oxygen. Like it's a perfect storm. It's like
Yeah.
I want to get a dental sponsorship.
No doubt, dude. Yeah. I've tried to do the carb thing. Like I've eaten so much candy every day of my life for the last 40 years that you think I would be able to eat 200 grams of carbs, like no problem. But
Yeah,
yeah, dude, like 70 grams, like like anything above that, like my belly's not made for that. How
totally.
how did you get your carbs in? Was it all drink mix? How did you split it up?
It was all liquid in one degree or another. I think I had 2 Rice Krispie bars, but just because it was out of my stomach if there's ever any issue. And it's just nice to have something to chew on every once in a while. But otherwise, I had 26 gels, which is so gross.
Yeah,
Mostly like First Endurance liquid shots are probably 60% of those, and then um, I had carb seal gels, which have 100 milligrams of caffeine, and then another one has 450 milligrams of sodium. I just
nighttime
know that
gels.
hmm? Oh yeah,
Nighttime gels. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So I had those. So and those really help balance out like the sodium and stuff. Because I just seem to, yeah, be a salty sweater, and it
Yeah.
helps a lot with the cramping. And then yeah, so I started with each bottle had 100 gram bottles, and then hydration pack was 200 grams. So that's 400 grams of like fluid for the first half, I guess, give or take. And then I don't do Ziploc bags. Like even though I'd rather have First Endurance, they don't have single servings of the high carb, so I do Morton because I've had too many times where it's like you put it in a pouch and you think it's fine, and then something rattles and then it like rips it apart. So like now everything has sugar on it, and you don't have your mix, so it's like the worst case scenario. So
Yeah.
Morton makes prepackaged ones, so I just do those. It's just safer. And then with some elements, basically like salt,
Yep.
like flavored salt, just to because Morton has like zero like electrolytes in it, so and it's zero flavor. So those like flavored salt packs are great. So just and then good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. You're running into a corner store. What are you buying?
Didn't.
Really?
Yeah, so we just stopped for water. That was the thing. So when you stop at the first water stop instead of a gas station, it was just water, which meant foregoing the next gas station because it was too close. So I could go to the next because the first one was 240K, and then um, after that it was yeah, we was like 370 or something. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just keep going because it's 440 to the next one says 200K. So I'm like, well, if I did 240K on this much, I could certainly do 200K to the next one. And it's a faster 200K. It was heavier in the first bit. So I just rolled it to there. And it was an official aid stop, so I knew they had Coke and stuff if I wanted it, but it was just water. So, and I was carrying all the stuff with me, so I'm like, oh, I don't need to stop and get like a Snickers or a Coke or Red Bull. Like, I feel pretty good. I have enough caffeine to give like an elephant a tremor. So, like, what do I need, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, yeah, just sort of I kept on going, and yeah, just ended up. My initial plan was to stop both gas stations. Made sense to me, like, but
Yeah.
in hindsight, I'm like, this is way more efficient. Like, it's just like there's zero lag time, right? Boom, water, get go. So, but yeah, I didn't open my wallet once.
What was your total stop time for that ride? Do you have it off the top of your head?
I don't. I mean,
Probably
probably
like
close.
minutes maximum, right?
I think it was under 10 minutes for sure.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and that includes pee
Wow.
break. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Did you cramp at all? Did you have any belly issues at all or anything like that?
no, it was honestly a perfect race physically. Like other than my knee being a
Amazing.
bit funky there for a second, like stomach was, like guts were fine, which was just I couldn't believe. It's like I feel like yeah, like solve Pandora's box because that's always been an issue for something like that. Even like regular Unbound, my stomach turns.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with that, and then didn't cramp even though I was pushing dehydration. Like I had no water left when I finished.
Yeah.
Um, I thought for sure I'd get like Giardia or something afterwards because it's like the number of times I was like grabbing my bottle and you're like,
Yeah, that's not
well,
dirt.
it's still there. Like, and like,
Uh,
well, it's like that's future Rob's problem. We got to stay hydrated right now. So yeah, it went
yeah.
okay. But yeah, it's no, I was really happy. Like mental acuity was good, stomach was good. Another thing that can happen in these things is like your hands can go numb, but like long term, like afterwards. But between like gloves and the fork, hands are totally fine, which is great. Usually use these two fingers for like weeks.
Yeah.
So
Let's let's talk about your bike setup now, actually. We know your body worked fine. Your bike, no mechanicals either. Everything went fine. You're happy with the setup?
yeah, it was perfect. The bags were kind of a shit show. That was like my fault. I should have done more like prep beforehand, trying to like figure out how to fit them on there better. Just the bigger bottles. But yeah, I ran like so. Um, Rob Jatellis and Miller both had like prototype bikes, but I was still running like my custom painted Austro Gravel. Just I love that bike. It looks so.
And
I love the paint.
I imagine an event like this, you don't want to be on some prototype bike. You want to be on the bike that you know perfectly.
Yes and no. If I would have ridden it before, I think it would have been good. Just the FKT is designed for kind of what this is, so it would have
Yeah.
been like the Astra Gravel is not designed to have a fork on it. Like it does lift the front end and changes the wheelbase quite a bit. I think it changes for the better. It handles really
In a
great.
good way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like it, and I've spent a lot of time on that bike in that setup. Like probably now the majority of time, just where I live, it's just a way better way to ride. Um,
Yeah.
and the frame doesn't fit the big tires. Like it can't do a 50 in the back, so 45 is as big as I can go. So this helps give me that same speed and the technical stuff that people with like 2.2 tires can use. So, but
Yeah.
so yeah, bike setup was just my like it was the exact same bike I used for Unbound last year, the 200. The only difference is I last year I had classified. This year I have full Shimano drivetrain, so 50/34 front, 11/34 rear. I have black ink wheels. They haven't come to market yet, but like they're a nice 28 mil internal. Like it's a great riding, like 46 mil depth. Like great wheel. Just really moves well and can take a massive hit without any sort of issues. Um, then bags, Apodura bags are on a pretty big top tube bag, like on the upper part of it. Just that's where all my snacks were, so I could just reach down, fill back up. I didn't run a hydration pack. I ran just the bladder in like the new Castelli just came out with like a gravel speed suit, which is hilarious for the spirit of gravel. I kind of it's play on words at this point, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's that was tight. That was really it fit really good and was comfortable. Lights were probably I guess the biggest piece of tech you need for that. I was running exposure lights, and they're like a new partnership this year, and they were awesome. I did like a test ride before. You should always test your night lights, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's incredible. This is the first time I've ever done one of these rides with like a headlamp. Usually I just have the bar light, so your light's only where you're steering. But with a headlamp, man, it's insane.
So good.
It's
Yeah.
almost it almost negates having a bar light. You don't even really need it because if you have a good headlamp, it's always just it's where you want to be. It's
Yep.
I was very stoked on that. It made a huge difference, and the battery life, yeah, no worries, like 10 hours, easy. Um, yeah, and then nothing else too crazy. I was like, yeah, like the taper cast, Fox fork. I've been riding that for a few years now, just like on and off. But I am a big believer, big fan of suspension on
Yeah.
gravel bikes.
I am shocked when I see people sticking to rigid forks, like people who don't have to. Like,
Hmm.
put a suspension fork on the front of your damn gravel bike and you will go faster. And you'll be
Yeah.
more comfortable and you will go faster. Question for you. Did you ever use the lockout on that 32 taper cast, or did you run it in the middle setting mostly, or how did it go?
I'd say the majority of the time was either mid or fully open, just like any good suspension. Like the new Grip SL damper on it is like so good. And the old lockout was anybody who has one, like the old lockout, it's Fox had this thing where you had to lever it. It's the same thing in mountain bike course where you have to like wait it for a hot second to pop it out because it always get jammed up in like the locked setting. But this one, you like I can flick it with one finger like in the aero bars without looking, and it moves so fluidly through like fully open trail and like locked. I put it in lock maybe 10 times the whole time, but I'd say the majority was either fully open or in that like mid range, and it just works so well. Like even when
Okay.
it's fully open, you're climbing and you don't. It doesn't feel like like a '90s rock shock where you're just like riding a pogo stick. It's just like it's pretty good.
Yeah, especially if it's a rough road, sometimes like even at low speeds, climbing up a rough road, you have more momentum. Like you can
Yep.
roll over those up and over those little ledges easier. You're
Big time.
overall using less energy, people. Put them on your
Yep.
bike.
Totally. Oh, and at night too, the number of like get out of jail free cards that gives you, you catch something you didn't see. Like I mean, I ran over a badger at one point, and I felt kind of bad, but it's a badger, so I know he'll be fine.
Yeah,
But
he's fine.
he was going this way, and then he decided he's going to go that way, and I'm like, and I just sort of like pulled, and I think if I had a rigid fork, it would have hooked and like pulled me back. But the
Yeah.
suspension one, I got kind of like compressed over his sausage body, and I was like in the back end, kind of got up and over. But yeah, it's like it's stuff like that. Like obviously running over an animal is not ideal, but like rocks, trails, like just lifts in the dirt that you don't see in the night. The fork is that like insurance policy that lets you get away with it. Where a rigid fork, maybe you don't.
It's margin for error is what it
Yep,
is. Yeah.
exactly, totally.
Yeah. Why were you running Di2, full Di2 instead of a classified rear hub?
It was just financial. Last year, Classified um, decided to build their like own like in-house team and like really go all into that, and
Yep.
they just didn't have cash to support other riders. So, um, and Shimano wanted to see more like
Of course, yeah.
sort of like a legitimate partnership with like Shimano does not like you riding like breaking up their group set at all. I got away with
No.
Classified because like they don't pay me, but also it's like you can't see it as much, so it's not so bad. They can like kind of swell up, but they were much happier when I was like fully in house. I was other than like the Easton Cranks, but yeah, and
Yeah.
but Easton Fox like and Race Face are all kind of in bed with Shimano, right? Like a Shimano rider is always going to have Fox suspension, so
Yeah, 100%. How much time do you spend on aero bars away from races like this?
fucking help us is so dumb.
They are.
When I
I
when I
just
fin-
ordered a set. Damn it.
when I finished like racing on the road, I'm like, I remember looking at my time trial bike and everybody's like, sweet, never going to ride these stupid things again. Like, yeah, fast forward, I'm like, God, they're so good. It's just like
Who would have
cheating,
thought it'd
man.
be for comfort?
It takes so much pressure off your shoulders and neck. Like, man, it's like again, this is like stuff I made fun of myself for, but I'm like, yeah, it's just nice. You just get in there and you're like relaxed and you get the shifters up here and it's just like, man, it's great.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Um, Rob, we're gonna wrap it up here in a few seconds. I'm sure you've got to go do a zillion hour training ride or something or other.
I just gotta make sure my mountain bike works.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I got a few more questions for you. All the time, we're gonna take a left turn here. All the time you've spent out there when you were training on the road, and nowadays when you're way out in the boonies and the backwoods outside of Victoria. Have you ever seen anything like that you can't explain? Like strange things, UFOs, lights?
Um, no, the closest thing I ever had to anything like that actually, like, it was like super scary as a kid. I remember going to, I've never seen like, never seen any weird like a Sasquatch or anything like that in the woods here. It's like even in like my most like tripped out states, it's like I'm sure I've been stalked by cougars, but that's different. Those are real. Um, I remember like going to like like or to like school basketball practice as a kid, Saskatchewan, right? It's dark, like till like 10 a.m. But it's dark in the morning, and there's these lights through like overcast, and I just see it moving through the sky, and I was just like, oh my God. And it was like, but what it was is like we live next to an airport,
Oh yeah.
like so it's just like it was a plane on its glide path, but it was gliding, so the engines were like basically silent, and it was super low, and I just see this light coming to the sky, and I was just like, I started to run.
Take me!
And yeah, no, it's like shortly thereafter. Yeah,
They
yeah,
didn't beam you up anyway. You're still here.
no. So
Yeah.
that was the closest I've come to it. But yeah, biking, it's like whether it's like been inebriated or not, I've never quite seen anything other than that.
Just some hallucinations, nothing real anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You touched on it a few minutes ago earlier in the podcast. Could you tell me about the last ride? What is the last ride? Where is it? When is it? And what are you doing?
Yeah. So um, the last ride is the updated version or updated name of what my friends and I used to call the man's ride, kind of like basically taking the piss out of ourselves, like big manly guys going for bike rides in the winter,
Yeah.
dressed in spandex. But yeah, the last ride is it's a ride that I organize in December out of Victoria. It is everybody like refers to their fondos as like not races, but it's like when you have a finish line, a podium, like all this other stuff, like prizes, like that's a bike race. Any way you want to
Yeah,
cut it.
100%.
There are no numbers. There's no start times. There's no finishing times. No results. I mean, cut the course however you want. I do not care. Ride it backwards. Like some people just get their GPS wrong and just ride the whole bloody thing backwards on their own. But they all have a good time. Yeah, the last ride is like we have four events now. It's like summer Strada Bianca type ride, just mixed terrain road ride. Um, that one's free. It'll finish at the Brisbane Brewery at Whistlebury, kind of like my like home brewery here in downtown. Um, three of the four are all short. So Strada Bianca, super chill spring ride, usually on the same day or the same day or same weekend as Strada Bianca. We've got the Solstice ride, which everybody wants to ride from sunrise to sunset. Very few people actually either have the time or the ability to do that. It's like you don't just all of a sudden ride for 16 hours. I should know. Um,
Yeah.
but we do something I think which is way cooler is just we start the ride at 6:30 and just ride to sunset. So you need good lights. Again, finish the brewery. That one's basically I call it like last ride light. It's just like one, there's no hypothermia to worry about. Two, it's like the trails are soft, the pace is chill. Finish at 9:30 just to sunset. So that one's fun. We do Friday night lights just to get people, I think, more stoked on like what's coming, which is the last ride. So Friday night lights is like usually late October, early November. Go out in the dark, just like 2 hour trail ride, test out the lights, which you're gonna need for the last ride, which is the marquee one, which I actually charge money for. It's like $100, but it's unlimited to 50 people. I never used to be able to even get half of that. I just like had to like make sure my friends signed up just to fill spots in it.
Yeah.
Because it was originally just like my friends and I like renting a place somewhere on the island and just doing like a really cool ride. And they're like, dude, you should make it into an event. So eventually I did. And it's part about trying to build this second community in Victoria like, for myself, but also getting people to doing more stuff that they wouldn't normally do. It's like I explore a lot when I ride. So it's like I like to share that. And it's really cool seeing afterwards people who've lived
Hmm.
here their whole life. Like I had no idea there was a trail there and that connects with this. And oh my God, there's so many times I had no idea where I was. So that's in usually, and I've put it to a vote more than once, and it always gets voted into friggin' December, like the second or third week of
December.
December. Like the number of
Man.
times I have had an ulcer in my stomach from having to, because I don't release the route until the morning of the ride, so no one knows what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So the number of times people don't know this is like I'm up till like 11:30 the night before redoing all the routing because it's like I've learned now, like now I have like five backups.
Yep.
Um, but it's like I've had to reroute stuff because like, well, there's snow, we can't get over the Malahat, so we can't do half the ride. So we got to get really creative and create a 160K ride in Victoria proper on like, tiny little cut throughs and things. So yeah, the last ride is basically like an adventure gravel ride that is just a day of that. It's an adventure, totally new. Mid rest stop has like pizza, Coke, beer, whatever. Like there's no racing. Groups just form because of this or that. It's navigation heavy, so it forces you to go slow because if you go fast, you're going to miss a turn for sure.
Hmm.
Um, and then you finish with like it starts with coffee, like pastry stuff. It's like how you if you could make like a sick day of biking. This is what I think it'd be. It's like coffee and pastry friends at the start at noon instead of like 7 a.m. like those are the friggin' races. It's
Yeah.
gonna go into dark, so you have to bring lights. It's like you have that like you're chasing sunsets. You finish like just on a bike path at night, like so it's not technical, but it's fun, right? You have a good rest stop. Like there's the course is hard, but that's it. It's just the day is hard, not by like forcing it, by just doing it. And then you finish with like burger, fries, beers on the beer tent. Like everyone's just like filthy and just loving life. And then yeah, done by like 6 o'clock and you're home by 8. But it's like you had a full day of adventure in the middle of December when most people are just waiting until spring. So it's
Yeah.
something to get people stoked. Like after cross is done before road starts, before
Yep. Get
Christmas
people
starts.
out.
Yeah,
Gets the people going, Rob. Gets the people
yeah.
going.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the last ride now. So we've had kind of the three other events now that just those are just fun to keep the vibe going all year.
I see it on social media every winter, and leading up to it, I'm like, maybe I should just man up and do this thing. And
Do
then
it,
I look
man.
at
Come
the
over.
weather, and I'm like, it's so cold.
Oh yeah,
No.
it's yeah. Some years it's really bad. Like one year was
Yeah.
like I put the rest stop in a spot where it's like when it's normal weather, it's totally fine because the wind would arc over it. But when it's a storm, it's like it's in basically like a funnel off the water, and it was like that hairline between rain and snow and gale force winds straight off the water. So that was probably the coldest place in Victoria. And it's like people were coming in. And I'm like, I got all the food back afterwards. Like, did people not drink? Like, oh no, half people didn't stop. They just kept going. That was the worst possible place to rest. So I've never been so cold, and I wasn't riding. Like, because my wife and mother-in-law and friends like, man, the rest stops, and it's just like, oh, shit. Like even when I was there, I remember like I have spare clothes because like perks of being the organizer, you can send spare clothes ahead. But it's like I
Hmm.
put on a whole other like layer system, and when I was trying to put it on, I'm like, well, these don't work as well as they used to. I'm like, this is not good. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah December, but it's that's part of the whole thing, right? It's like I get worried, and then people are like they just like reinforce like, dude, they know what they signed up for. It's December,
Yeah. Yep.
so
Doing the thing.
yeah.
Okay. Rob, I've got one more question before I let you go here. You've got so much experience bike racing, tons of road racing, tons of off-road racing now. Let's say you're on a podcast talking to some guy who likes to do long gravel races and he wants to do more longer gravel races, but he doesn't really know anything. What would you tell me? Him? What would you tell him?
Ah, just do it, man. Like, um, yeah, fine. Like, even just doing long rides. Like, I love exploring, and so it's like finding stuff. Like, hit people up, hit someone up like me, or if you want to go like to like the interior, like someone like Swain or even Kelowna. It's like you just guys like us like sharing, because like that's how I found out stuff. Like when I wanted to do things, I reached out to people who are like you say, like go Strava stalking to find out like the routes that I want to check out, find a heat map, and then you just go. It's like, okay, for sure this goes through. Yeah, we're good. Then it's like you get a buddy and you just go and like ride that stuff, and it's awesome. Like you just make it a weekend adventure. Like for where you are, it's like you can you could do like a sick overnighter. It's like just take the ferry over, go and do a loop, camp up here on this like mountaintop, like next to fresh water, fill up, go down to the diner in the morning, have breakfast, loop it back out. All you have to do is catch the ferry back over to Horseshoe Bay and you're golden, right? It's like,
Yeah.
or you can ride Sunshine Coast and do like the ferry hop all the way around. Like I've done that one. It's super cool. Like it's things like those, and then you start to get more comfortable, and it's like your database of where you go and what you know and what you're comfortable doing and the stuff you like doing starts to get larger and larger, and like your understanding of like what this world is, and like where you can go with it starts to get bigger and bigger. And like
Hmm.
maybe you'll find like, oh, it's like I don't need to do this, or maybe you'll find it's like, oh yeah, dude, like let's. What about like Kyrgyzstan? Like, so you go off that direction, but like it's just
We were
it's
just
sick.
on Vancouver Island, and now you've got
Yeah,
me in Kyrgyzstan.
dude, that's the
Calm
thing. It's
down.
like, I mean, the races are one thing. Like, it's tough. Like, I know I get both sides of it. Like, organizers are trying to make money. It's their job to put in lots of work, but some of them are really expensive. Like, and I don't
Yeah,
know necessarily if races are like the best place to like see and do a lot of it. Sometimes the race courses actually skip out a lot of the coolest stuff that you can see, especially like the island, man. It's like we live in paradise. Like,
yeah,
and there's so much that they're not allowed, you're not allowed to ride on, but like you can go do, and it's like you just could never race that, but it's like riding it is so sick. Some of the stuff, it's like you're probably the only person who's ever ridden a bike on it, which is
yeah.
like,
The
yeah,
best feeling.
yeah, and it's like I get that kind of mountain biking because I don't mountain bike very often. So like when I go to new places, it's like the Chilcotins or something. I can remember the first time there, like this is like nirvana. This is so cool. Like, and that's where I get like even gravel right now. There's so many places I go and you're just like, you're feeling self service, so you don't have Instagram, you're not getting text messages. Like you're checked out. You're just like in it, and like so yeah. So just start exploring and start like doing like an overnight or like just like soft level bike pack and go stay in a hotel for the night, but have like a really cool ride on both sides of it. Like
Yep.
that stuff is yeah. Even I've become soft now. Like I don't love camping. It's like I love
No.
like credit card camping where it's like the ride is a challenge and it's like yeah, I earned my 2.5-star hotel at the end.
Yeah, I
And
want to have a shower and sit on a
dude,
shitty bed after.
it's the best. That shitty bag was pretty good after 14 hours in the saddle.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah.
but yeah, man, that's like I'd say it's like we live in gravel paradise. Like, and there's so much stuff. Like you've already done the buckshot, right? Like,
Yeah.
so like your understanding of like going on those adventures is already higher than like most people. The buckshot's like a no joke ride for sure. So and that's the neat thing about BC. Like you don't have to travel much to do something totally different. What we have in the island is different than the interior, which is different than the East Kootenays, which is different than the Caribou. Like those are all different places. And like
Yeah.
with your background as like being like a mountain biker, like your comfort for riding in places will be so much higher than like someone coming from the road. When someone coming from the road, it's like technical stuff gets weird for them sometimes. But as a mountain biker, like it doesn't. You just like you shred stuff, and
That's
it's
not
like
my worry, to be honest with you, at
yeah,
all.
exactly. So no, it's
Yeah,
it's
interesting.
it's amazing what you can do with like a little bit of planning and like enough food. And it's like and lights. It's like okay, well you got food. You're not gonna die. Like you,
Well, I've
dude.
got the BC Epic in 3 weeks. I might
Oh
die.
shit, you're doing the BC Epic?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
dude,
attempt it.
you'll be fine. BC Epic's totally fine. That's like in hindsight, like that one broke me the most through like poor planning, but like it's not hard at all. Like it's hard, but it's like the terrain
Yeah.
is actually not that hard on you. Like there's parts of it, like hopefully the stuff about Penticton isn't like blowing out with water. That was like for me, they had a really late summer, or sorry, a really late winter, so it just carried water so far. So you're going around these huge like water logs, and then that's where I got soaked.
Mm, yep.
But yeah, there's tons of places to sleep. You can sleep in a hotel. There's lots of places to get water. Like you never have to worry about that. You can go like travel pretty light and fast the whole time. Sleep on the ferry. You get snacks on the ferry.
Yeah.
Kind of like mentally charged because I didn't have to do Great Creek the year I did it. It was way too much snow, so I had to go way further south and like do like a modified route, which still had me hiking over a fucking glacier in road shoes, by the way. Um,
Road
so
shoes, Rob, on that?
dude, I was learning.
Okay.
Um, they were mountain bike cleats, just so
Yeah.
basically I was running in like slippers, so through snow, carrying my bike. Yeah. So like I said, I learned a lot. But yeah, it's Great Creek. You kind of want to be psyched up for that because it's basically you just go up a wall. I've come down that way like when I did my bikepacking trip, but yeah, man, yeah, BC Epic will be tight. I kind of want to go back and do it. Because Swain has a record now, but
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be sweet to just go and do it. Like now that I've like, and I wonder how I'd ride it, given like the experience I have now of like all these other ones, and just how I know my body, how I know my gear. I think the gear I would take versus what I took then, like a sleeping bag and air mattress, all this stuff, and like really, if you want to
Yeah.
nonstop it, like, and like it sounds ridiculous, but like an emergency blanket, you're fine.
Yeah. Man, I would love to see you in Swain battle that
Oh,
battle
it
for
would
that
be,
one.
yeah. Well, it's like I get scared because he can just body slam me whenever he wanted to. So,
Yeah, that's true.
so
He just did the buckshot in like was it under 14 hours?
oh
Something like
yeah,
that?
he's
I
getting
think he
ready
forgot to
for.
turn his transponder on though, so it didn't count.
He's still learning. Sometimes people don't hit record. It happens.
It happens. Not on this podcast though.
Oh no, but yeah, man, it's like he's doing the big one this summer, the divide. So I'm really excited to see
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Are
But
you have any plans for doing a divide? No.
you can take my word for that. I don't
Okay.
see like I can go real hard for like 1,000K and hurt myself really bad. I don't want to know what I would do to myself on like 14,000K or whatever the divide is. Like it's too much. I don't know. It's 2 weeks. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no
Okay.
no interest. I have like all the respect for people to do it. I'm like super impressed. It's just for me, like, uh, if I did something that was big, I would do the Baja Divide down in
Oh
Baja,
yeah.
California.
That looks
That
cool. Very
that
cool.
looks. I'm really excited. I think that would be like when I retire from racing. Truly, it's like I would try to do that with friends because you can. There's different places along the way. Like friend A could start in like the U.S. and do the first leg. Friend B flies in. Friend A puts his bike into the box, flies home,
Yeah.
do that a couple times on the way down, so I always have someone to ride with because you don't really
You
want to
always
do that
have
by
a
yourself.
fresh friend to beat up on.
Yeah, well,
Just
hope
fly in the new friend.
like, fresh meat,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
no,
Okay.
I think that would be that's one that's been on my list for a long time, and farmers keep taking over more land, so it's actually like disappearing faster than people think. So it's on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
list.
yeah. Okay, and one final question, the last one, I swear. Where are people going to see you next? What's your plan?
Gravel Nationals, Ghost of the Gravel is the next one. So my buddy Sean Bunn organizes it. He's been trying to get me to come for years, and finally, I said I'd never do Gravel Nationals, but as you've probably heard from this podcast, I say a lot of things I won't ever do, and then here we are. So,
Yeah, we'll see you
yep,
at the Divide in a few years too.
probably.
All right, Rob. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for your patience this morning with our technical challenges, and we got the podcast done. And amazing, absolutely amazing ride at the Unbound XL, and it was so cool to see you take that win, dude. It was awesome. Very cool.
Cool. Thanks, man. No, thanks for the chat. It was really good to chat, and yeah, we have some good memories.
All right, take care, Rob.
Cool.